Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes could sound like this. And later it has a riff that sounds like this. But let's first learn the basic riff. This is a really must learn for new players for bass guitar. And if you've been playing for some time and you haven't learned the riff, this is really a cool one to sit and groove with. Lots of fun, definitely a signature musical statement. So have fun with it, and it's going to start with fret number 7 on your 3rd string. Now, for those that aren't sure why you've got little dots, there's a dot there, dot there, dot there, and it sort of goes all the way to a double dot. All the bass guitars should have that. And we want to rely on this dot to help us find out where the frets are. So to physically count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's quite a mission. I want us to get to a point where we can recognize that the 3rd dot is fret 7. So we need to memorize a certain amount of things as well. So fret number 7, 3rd string from the bottom, counting 1, 2, 3, string 3, fret 7, using my pinky. You may use the ring finger if you want to, so if you prefer finger 3, I'm okay with that. But ideally, finger number 4. Your first finger is going to go to fret number 5, and it's going to be working strings 3 and 2 as it's needed. But let's get back to the tab and let's learn this riff. You're going to start with a 7, and you'll notice there's a little bit of a gap before the second 7. That means you wait a bit, so it's... And after that second 7, your first finger now comes into play, and you'll notice on the tab it's no longer on the same string. It's on a line above the line of the 7s. Now, when it goes up on the page, it actually goes down on the bass. So what we're saying is, first 7s, and your 5 is on the 2nd string from the bottom, fret number 5. That's your 5 that we've just been talking about. After that, you come back to the 7, which is on the 3rd string, and if you put those 4 notes together, it's going to sound like this. Now, we mentioned that you can use your ring finger, so it could look like this too. But please do not use the middle finger. The stretch from the 1st to the 2nd is just not practical. So finger 3 or pinky, whichever you're cool with. After that 7, you're on the 5 again, and you'll notice in the first bar there's only one note that's not on the same line, and that's that 5 on the 2nd string. All the other notes for this riff is going to be taking place on the 3rd string. Now we're going to add in the 5 now on the 3rd string, and your first 5 notes are going to sound like this. I'm going to count in so you can play along with if you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Now your golden rule is don't move your hand unless you have no choice. You'll notice my thumb is there. It could be a bit lower if you're more comfortable, even a bit more lower, but that would be bad because I can't see my thumb, and you can see from this angle here, that's a very bad technique. So please keep your thumb near the top. Can be a bit lower, it's also fine, some basses like it there, but keep it central to fingers 1 and 2. So this is your 1st and 2nd finger. You can see the thumb is in the middle of the 2. Bad technique, good technique, still good technique. Now, after that, we need now to move, because there's no ways we can get to fret 3 without moving. So check this over here. We're on that 5, and you move your hand down as one unit. What we mean is I don't do this and then do that, or sort of do that and then move this. I move it all at the same time. That is my 3. And then you'll notice there's a long gap again before the 2. That's basically you're holding the note and you end up on fret number 2. So slow motion through. I'm going to count you in so you can play along with. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again. Now that gets played something like 16 times if I recall correctly. I could be wrong because there's an introduction and the bass guitar or the bass drum starts with it. Then the guy starts singing. So what we're going to do is we're not going to count 16 times. That's just insane, because if you miss one, you're stuck. So we need to rely on the words, get to know the lyrics. So when he sings behind a cigarette, that is your prompt for the change. Now we're going to go to the chorus next, but before we go there, I want to focus on what's happening with this hand. Now notice how I'm resting my thumb on the 4th string. You can see the string moving there. This is to keep my string, to stop it from vibrating, so I don't get unnecessary string noise. Now when I'm crossing over, you'll notice I'm playing first of all with this finger, and as I cross to that 5 we spoke about earlier in the video, which is on the 2nd string, watch what my thumb does. 7, 7, 5. Check my thumb jump down. One more time. 7, 7, 5. And I'm calling out the fret numbers from the tab, so you can sort of tie the two together. My thumb comes down. Now this is a bad technique, because if I do this, and I've seen some people try and play bass like this for the first time, it's really a mission to get this, so don't do this. Okay, you may, if you want to, rest your thumb on the pickup itself. These are the pickups, or you can rest it on the side of the neck, so that's acceptable. But for this song, try and rest it on that 4th string. It stops it from vibrating. And also the purpose for jumping down, you'll notice my thumb silenced the 3rd string, so you've got good string control if your thumb moves from string to string like this. And you'll notice that my thumb is always directly on the string above the one I'm playing. So if I'm plucking the 2nd string, I'm resting on the 3rd. If I'm plucking the 3rd, I'm resting on the 4th. And if I need to play the 4th, then I just go slightly up, or I rest on there, depending on what's practical for the song, what the song demands. Okay, you're going to go back now to your fretting hand, and we're going to look at the chorus. Now you'll notice the chorus actually has 2 chords. It's got a G and an A. Now for those that aren't familiar with the note names yet on their bass guitar, please get to know that. It's really, really important. G, for example, is in fret number 3 on the 4th string, and A is on the 5th fret of the 4th string. So G is here, A is here. And for that part there, all that's happening is you're basically counting on every beat. In other words, you're playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, then you switch to A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you put them together, and I'm going to count you in so you can play along with, it should sound like this. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then back to this. Now after this, here's the new riff. Then back to the 1st riff, and the 2nd riff again, and back to G, 2 and 3 and 4 and A, 2 and 3 and 4 and you'll notice that I'm playing a little bit quieter, because if you listen to the original track, that's where the band goes quieter. So the dynamics, your loud and soft, loud and quiet, are quite important for the song over here. It's only got basically 2 riffs and 2 chords, so they need to make the most of the dynamic to make the song as successful as it is. Now on the 2nd riff, we're going to go back to your fretting hand again, and you'll notice that on your PDF under chorus riff, where you've got the 3s and the 5s, is another riff, and it starts off the same. So you're going to do this whole sort of down to the 2, exactly the same as you did before. But the second time around, there are 2 dark blue notes, an extra 5 and 3 that now find their way between the last 3 and 2 that you've been doing. So here we go, slow motion, starting with the 7, crossing the string, back to the 7, and now we have to move down to the 3. And now we've got the first dark blue 5. Now don't do this, it's unnecessary movement. So you don't want to go, that's not practical. We rather go, remember your golden rule is don't move your hand unless you really have no choice. It's just a lot more efficient way of playing. It's all the fingers working, and you need clever fingers. So if the fingers are moving, they all get trained, and if you're a beginner bass player, we need this. So one more time, that 2nd riff starts the same. Here's the extra 5 and 3, and you onto the 2. Now I'm going to play it through one more time, and I'm going to combine both riffs together. So we're going to do the first riff you learned at the beginning of the video, and the riff now with the 5 and 3 extra added into it. And we're going to play that through twice. Are we ready for this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and... Here we go. And again. And after that, G, 2 and 3 and 4, and A, 2 and 3 and 4, and that's your chorus. So I'm just going to get a bit of a different view now, so you can watch the hand movement again from the side. And I want you to play through with me the entire chorus. Are we ready? Got your G in place. The A is going to be with the pinky. 1, 2, 3, 4, and D. 2 and 3 and 4 and A. 3 and 4 and riff 1. Riff with the change. Riff 1 again. Riff 2 again. And back to G. And you drop the dynamic. Try and get nice and quiet as well. Then obviously you can build from there. You should have the whole song under control. If you've got any questions, let me know. And for the purists, I heard somewhere that apparently they actually played this on guitar with an octave pedal. But why use an octave pedal when there are bass guitars in the world? It's just like, use the real thing. Okay, that's just tongue in cheek. It's a cool riff. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good week. Thank you.